Are you ready to find out how I'm replacing my executive assistant with AI when it comes to the tasks that she usually does for me when it comes to basically after a call with a potential client? This video is part of a series that I've been doing where I am going through all of the regular tasks that my assistant does for me, from the marketing and sales all the way to admin, and replacing it with AI assistance for her. And this basically came out as a question of like, what if I do fully just replace my executive assistant Honey? She's been with me for the last 3.5 years, and essentially going through the process of seeing, again, if I can fully replace her with AI. Now, throughout this whole process, I've been using the BOSAI framework, where basically we're going through the process of blueprinting something, what the process actually looks like right now, organizing the data for it, making sure that we have the systems for it, the standard procedures, then automating or delegating it, choosing essentially which one is good to just fully automate and not have a human look at it, and which one to still delegate to my assistant to double check it if it's right. And then I is basically integrating it or iterating it or making sure that it actually works and create the same result as if she was the one doing it. So that's the BOSAI framework that we created. So for this one, this is essentially part 2 of kind of the sales tasks that she does for me. And in the last video, we talked about the things that she does to help prepare me for a call. And now we're going to go through the things that essentially after I've just done a discovery call with someone, what does she actually do afterwards? So Honey, can you walk us through what that looks like for you the moment that you see essentially that the Zoom transcription is up and I've finished already doing that assessment call?
All right, so hi everyone. So this is now the part 2 from the last video. So what I usually do after every sales call is I usually wait for about 5 minutes for the Zoom assets to be completed, and it will usually be sent through email. So from there, I just grab the transcript, and then I already have my AI set up. So let me show you how that looks like. So first, here's my SOP. So this SOP contains the actual prompt that I usually use. So let's skip the other details and proceed to the prompt so you guys can see how it looks like as well. So here, I already formatted it based on the report or the Canva template that I had on Canva, and then we will show you guys what that looks like as well. So here, I have the following sections. So for entrepreneurship focus, categorizing EA task, characteristics, and then of course one-liner phrase, and then of course the summary of the overall report. So I just grabbed this prompt, and then the way I set it up is we just back and forth with ChatGPT for now, and then I test it out as well. So here I have my 2XU 8020 report assistant. So what we're going to do is, from the previous video, we actually gave you guys an example. So we're still going to use that example for this task. So here's the example transcript from Daniel Mercer. So what we're going to do is, let's just say this is already from Zoom. And then what we're going to do is I'll just copy and paste it actually. So let's have that. And then let's go to my AI assistant. So here, since this is already formatted, so it will directly give me the results without any questions or something, because I pretty work around with this like back and forth. So we're going to paste that here. And then for me, I like to like show in the text field. So I don't usually like paste it and then directly hit enter. So what I usually do is just click this one. So let's run that. So here, this is how I usually format it. So it followed my instructions down to the last section. So from here, I will then be transferring this or like copy and paste this to my actual Canva template. So here's my Canva template. So for now, we're just going to copy and paste it manually. So first, we have to change the name. And then here, we also have here this section. So as you can see, we need to fill out the role that the lead wants or need based on the call. So that's actually here as well. So as you can see here,
So you're basically just moving from like the chat GPT assistant you have, the output that it gave you, and then copy pasting it into Canva manually for now, one by one, right?
Yeah, manually for now. Yep. And then here below, I actually have that. So for this role, we have here operations and client success executive assistant, but basically overall, it will just be like operations executive assistant. So I'm just manually filling the report based on the format that it generated. So here we have the overview of the bottleneck. So from the report itself, you can actually see that here in the first section. So Daniel needs an executive assistant to manage client operations, follow-ups, onboarding, and back-end organization so he can focus on coaching, content creation, and then closing deals. So that's actually in order. So we have here categorized EA tasks. So based on each category, I put that here, this part. So I don't actually copy and paste the task. I will copy and paste the task to our roles and responsibility sheet. So let's say I already finished the report, it's already good to go. So I will then proceed to the 80/20 roles and responsibilities sheet. So aside from the 2x report, I also have this sheet. So the purpose of this sheet is to just gather the different tasks that the lead mentioned during the call. So it's easier for us to identify which is which. Like for example, for an EA, if this can be trained, so this can be like a must-have during the hiring, something like that. So here, this is already like filled out, but what I usually do, I just manually copy and paste it here to the sheet. So we have here the outreach and sales report tasks, operations, client onboarding, admin, down to the last task, which is the systems and documentation. So after the report and then after the sheet, I will then grab the links to both reports, and then I linked it to the email, and then I sent it out. So one thing I didn't mention is like here on Canva, I connected my Google Drive. So instead of me downloading it to my laptop, it will be uploaded directly to the specific Google Drive folder for the reports. So from there, I grabbed the link and then put it on the email. So yep, that's basically it.
Gotcha. All right, so it's filling that out, making sure it's clear. Can you show me your SOP on this one again? That one, perfect. So basically after the call, you grab the transcript, you run it through ChatGPT because it's already trained essentially as your assistant on going ahead and putting it into the transcription into it, and then it gives you the output that's going to be easy for you to copy and paste both to the Canva, essentially the report that we send to all potential clients, and then creating the Google spreadsheet. Is that right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is sort of the thing that will replace you on when it comes to the sales task. So basically we went through, again, blueprinting. We found out like, hey, we already mapped out all of the tasks that you're currently doing, especially the recurring ones. We've organized it because you're a 2X UEA, you already have the systems for it, you have the SOPs for it. And then now it's getting to the point where it's deciding whether to fully automate or delegate this. Now for this one, we can probably go ahead and create a quick and easy AI assistant for you. Just for this. So basically we have the made out transcript as if I already did a call with this Daniel Mercer, and then here this is basically the report that you created. And also I then asked, and I'll show you in a little bit, I had Claude go through this whole process. So basically what I did is I use this as a template. I put into the transcription on here. So I gave it a template, and then here, it's actually said like, hey, this is how I would fill this up. You can choose whether you want to copy and paste this yourself. I said, put it into Canva. 5 attempts, same error every time. The Canva editing input is genuinely down for the design right now. That's something I can muscle through. Generate design. Okay. So we'll say generate design. So it's gonna go ahead and actually, I'm guessing, generate this into Canva itself, and then build that out. So basically, to recap, we had it, I said use that as a template. I gave the transcript. It sadly could not create directly into Canva, so this wasn't a perfect test. This might be something that I will have to create an edit and connection with. But basically, it did exactly the same way that Honey had it on ChatGPT, where basically replacing the intro paragraph, the overview of the bottleneck, the 1 to 5 tasks, basically the top delegation priorities, the 4-quadrant breakdown. Again, very easy to copy and paste into Canva. And then bulletproof system assets, basically, what are things to create with the ideal REA profile, and then an internal brief for everyone else. So this is a cool thing that I didn't even ask Claude to do, but it went ahead and created a brief for the team to be able to understand who this person is. And this is what I like. It's a mild unicorn hunter risk. Once ops, client success, content repurposing, and LinkedIn outreach in one person. Manageable, but deep dive should set expectation. Rhea owns ops, client success, while with light content support, which I like. So basically, even before hopping on the actual onboarding call for the team, for the client success manager who takes over this call after I do the call, they can see this as a report. So that was actually one that I didn't ask it to do, but actually is super, super helpful. And then it says, want me to retry to push Canva now. It tried a couple times. There were a couple of server errors that kept coming up. And then it said, can you just go ahead and just create it yourself? I asked it one more time, try the original template again. It still didn't work. So I just said like, okay, let's go through and use the number 4 template right here. And that's essentially what you see here. It's like it went ahead and actually generated the whole report from scratch, just because it couldn't really do what it needed to do. And frankly, its first read ahead of this is it is too wordy and text, and even the text color basically isn't clear. But so far, it looks pretty straightforward. It doesn't have the 4 quadrants that we usually use. Bulletproof systems to build, documentation, workflow, basically, and then your ideal executive assistant, scale you, which is a little bit of it. And then the next step is usually to book a call. So it got it really right. It's just not perfect. So what do you think, Honey?
I think it just need like a little bit detailed instruction. For example, feeding it in the right format that we prefer. I think if we do that, it can follow through. But so far, it's amazing. It's awesome. Like the output, the info is there. We just need to like clean it a little bit. But overall, it's like 9 out of 10.
Yeah, give it more instructions. Basically, it just needs an addition. So for this one, it does need a little bit more delegation instead of just straight out automate. But for this one, since this is something that you do create very much as a manually for now, let's go ahead and ask Claude, create a responsive spreadsheet based on the color, organized by category. So let's see what it creates. You can see category 3, client onboarding, category 2, sales and pipeline management, category 1, lead generation and outreach. So it's building it. And the funny thing is, this might be cooler than what we currently have. It looks like it's going to be cooler than what we have. I mean, we've used that spreadsheet template for like the longest time. So we haven't really made updates to it. So it'll be interesting to see what Claude creates. Let's see what I made. It says, want me to convert this into a Google Sheet in your Drive, or are you good with basically this format? Role and responsibilities, coaching business, so role title, reports, hours, primary, success, category, matters, frequency, and then it went ahead and created the responsibilities line. So category, lead generation, sales and pipeline management, client onboarding, success and delivery, content marketing, operations and admin, system and SOPs, and then they created an actual 30, 60, 90-day plan of like what they can focus on right away. This is actually really, really cool. So I'll give it like just the one feedback. Take a screenshot of the current one. This is how it's the second tab should look like. Format for Google Sheets. It was like saying please. Okay, so it said reformatted to match 6 categories as column headers, task listener each Daniel's call language. Basically, 6 responsibilities, systems ops. So responsibilities here. And then I still love the 30, 60, 90-day plan. That's so cool. That it did it even without us asking for it. So then now, write up the SOP of what to do post sales call reports to generate. Now, we just mostly focus on the reports part of essentially the work that you do after I just did a assessment call with a potential client. Basically, and we know that there's other things that you do, which is basically going ahead and scheduling the call, the onboarding call with them, making sure it's received onto their invite. It is also creating the invoice, essentially using QuickBooks, so then we actually can get paid. And then what other tasks are you doing? You're also coordinating with the client success managers about the potential call, right?
Right, and then I also coordinate with client success managers for the JD, and then there's a lot of things actually, but I think that's after I sent out the email for the report. Yeah.
Now, the cool thing also here is in a video that I posted on my other YouTube channel, I created a whole video where I walk through how to use Claude when it comes to calendar management, which is you can go ahead and even give it just instructions of like, hey, make sure to add this call into the calendar, tag this person or add this person onto there. In that video, I even used Honey as an example of someone I would add to that calendar invite. So then for you, for automating this part, if you are doing this part inside of your own, basically onboarding a new client, you can also just use Claude to be able to schedule a call right away. So for you, Honey, once you actually start building out more of your agents and not just replacing you in your different tasks on this, once you actually put them together, you can probably just have Claude, you can input essentially the transcript and then run it through the flow that we'll be creating, and then having it, one of the tasks could be just going ahead and scheduling the calendar invite and then sending the report essentially that it gave us into the for the client success manager. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, I kind of feel like an AI manager. Like I'm still doing my work, but at the same time, there's AI to back me up, working on the back end, and for me, I can just like review everything, like the output. So yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so it created the SOP post-sales call reports. Trigger is basically when a discovery call ends with a qualified lead, and then confirm the call is post-sales call ready, and reports to generate is essentially the 80/20 assessment report, the internal brief for the CSM and Reyes Success Manager, the role and responsibilities sheet, and then the updating the CRM pipeline, which is, again, we didn't ask it to do. It just kind of knows that should be one of the steps to do. So report 1 in client-facing, 80/20 assessment report, and then the internal brief, and then the roles and responsibilities spreadsheet, CRM pipeline update, and then quality check before sending anything client-facing. So one way to push this into your Notion SOP database or save it as an MD file for you to drop it in yourself. So build this as a skill. Outputs for this should be the, and I'll say already built out PDF version of the 80/20 assessment, draft for CSM and RSM for potential client, the spreadsheets, and asking to push the updates into the CRM. So basically what we're creating here is instead of you, Honey, doing all of these tasks one by one, you can basically just activate your one AI assistant, and basically you can input the transcript on there, and hopefully it will actually build out the whole thing already. And then draft CSM, and then the spreadsheet, and then of course asking it to push. So while it's creating that, let's test it out and see what this would actually look like in Google Drive. So again, I love that it did build an onboarding plan, because we do have a 90-day onboarding plan inside of 2XU to make sure that our clients feel supported throughout from the get-go. So this makes it a little bit easier for our client success managers as well. And let's check on the Claude So you can see here, the skill will supersede the existing 80/20 assessment because it was actually one of the first things that I wanted to create skills out of. So it does that all and more. Skill built, 3 files in the standard skill structure. So there's the main skill, the spreadsheet builder, and the category and task language. So what the skill does in order every time is in just the transcript, confirms the lead is qualified, extracts client snapshot, generates a PDF, creates an internal brief, builds the sheet ready, XLSX format, and then asks to push the Notion CRM update. Now I put here specifically asked to push the CRM update because of course I want it to be the right information before I actually pushes it out. So let me go ahead and click save skill. Since I saved it as a skill, let's go and grab a new chat and let's go ahead and just grab the transcript itself. So it said read the post sales call skill since the trigger. So call again, no context. And call summary for the mercer and 80/20 preview, the ideal REA, red flags to discuss internally, and then open questions. Basically, so yes, qualified, do full output. So again, no context. I just put in the transcript, and then it's checking for the PDF skill, the XLSX skill, and again for you guys who are just doing it again, a skill basically is creating an actual like hammer or screwdriver or anything else inside of your Claude's toolbox. So anytime that it does a task, it looks at its toolbox first to see if there's already something that it can already use to do this skill or to do this task, and actually then runs it through that. So that's why we went through the process of doing a lot of it manually first and then asking it to build its own SOP so that if you had more time, if there were any changes, if there were any feedback that we gave it, it would actually take that into the SOP as well. Then we converted it into the skill file or the MD or markdown file. So then again, that now becomes one of the tools in its toolbox. So that way, this is actually how you truly replace a lot of the tasks with AI, and you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again because sometimes memory can crash. Sometimes Claude just forgets basically a very specific input that you already gave it. But if you save it as a skill, as either like for example, I have a Leanne skill, I have a 2XU skill, Honey has that also inside of her own Claude, then it always will look at those skills before doing anything else. So it's always going to be creating essentially the output that you actually ask it to do rather than feeling like you have to train a toddler over and over again. So basically for this one, Honey, once we've actually fully built this out, that means you can just put in the transcript, leave your computer. When you get back, there'll be the output already. And later on, once we actually build this into more of an actual agent, it'll just basically be alerted once the transcription is ready on Zoom and then actually generate this. So that's the main difference between an AI assistant and an AI agent. Is AI assistant, you do still have to prompt it, but it's already ready and has essentially the train and learn in the tasks, whereas an AI agent just does it without you asking it. For now, the way that we're building it, just because this is of course for a YouTube video, we're just doing it just an AI assistant style, but later on we'll start actually building it into an agent where it just checks Zoom basically for 80/20 assessment basically as the keyword, and if there's a transcription is ready, it already builds this ahead of time. So it's more of it just has a trigger and we'll do this without having a human basically prompt it. And then again, for you, you're just double checking if it is the right one. The next level that we can build this as well is then it'll just create it as a draft inside of Gmail. So then for you, you're just seeing the PDF, you're seeing the spreadsheet, and then you already are seeing also the other email with the one that you'll send to the rest of the team to give them a heads up on the potential client. So we can see now that it's building out the spreadsheet, which is super cool. Which is it's using the sheet tool that it has. You can see it's building out these day 31 to 60, that 30, 60, 90 skill that it's building out. I like that it does sanity check for the content. That's funny. Verify PDF has no M dashes in rendered content because it knows it has a skill. Basically, I created an anti-AI slop skill where it'll always check for anything that makes it look like it was created by AI. Okay. So the internal brief, we have the 80/20 assessment, we have the role and responsibilities. It's still generating and doing it. So we have the client, business type, role, reports to, the mission, success picture, basically, personality fit, tools, must know, time zone overlap, category summary. Let's look at the responsibilities. Again, it created the same thing as earlier, the 30, 60, 90 plan. Oh, it actually made it a little bit better even. Different format. So we might have to put that into the skill to make it the same format every time. It created the internal brief that we can then send to the team, the red flags with it, the recommended talking points for the deep dive call, which is the onboarding call, CRM update prompt, which is basically deep dive pending, strong fit, so on and so forth. Let's see what it created for the 80-20 assessment, since it didn't use Canva this time, because we know that it can be buggy, for lack of a better term. Let's see, roadmap to scaling you. Report shows where your time is going, 80-20 tasks, code for systems. That's the only thing that I don't like yet for Claude, is that when it comes to PDF, it's only creating mostly just text. I can't yet actually fully create. Actually, this is pretty nice. Went ahead and created the quadrants with the focus or opportunity. Yeah, it's copied even like the positioning of the actual content. To procure focus, bulletproof systems to build, to create, and then already created. Operation success, client success EA, that's actually pretty good. To extra formula, scale you, and then of course it'll have created a different way to walk through the different steps, and then book your deep dive call is right below there. So that's actually pretty cool way of just creating that, and it did that in what, less than 10 minutes. So again, this is now you replace on this side. Is again, we can build this out to be something a little bit bigger later on, but in less than 10 minutes, it actually built out a whole thing just by us giving it step by step what you were currently doing, and then actually teaching it and then making it into a skill. And then now it just does that in 10 minutes. So how does that feel for you, honey? Like seeing another part of what you do totally just replaced by AI?
Well, for me, I kind of feel like I have like another honey with me, and then at the same time, while it ran in the background, I can do other things and then just come back to it later. And also for the output, even though we didn't mention anything specific, it's kind of feel like thinking as well how to get this better. Like for example, for the 90-day onboarding, I kind of feel like it knows that you like it, so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to make this better, something like that. So
It's trained up.
yeah. So, and then of course
Yeah.
the branding, it really read the skill, like how you format it. So yeah, overall good.
Very cool. Well, that is it for this one. I believe the next video, we're going to be doing another round of tasks essentially that you're doing. And yeah, this has been so far just a fun series to be able to do with you. It's because we're just going through all of the ways that we can, like, quote unquote, replace you with AI. And a lot of it, again, goes down to having you still manage the AI that we're creating anyway. And if you guys want to learn more a little bit about that, I do have the monthly workshop that I'm doing for Delegate or Automate. Basically, if you guys want to go ahead and sign up for that in the link below. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any questions you guys might have when it comes to essentially replacing your assistant with AI. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Thursday on how to grow your business, especially with AI. And if you are wanting to have your executive assistant learn these as well, I do have a second channel right here, or you can just check out today's video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing and wonderful day, and with that, small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.